people, what's popping? Kilo shele, ogini neme. Good morning, everyone. This is Ambi Fresh. Today we are going to make a kaftan dress, or you call it an A-line shape dress. Let's journey on the process of making a kaftan A-line dress. Ooh, catch you! Okay, for you to make this type of A-line gown, you need an Ankara material or any type of material that you have with your lining, and you need your tape for measurement, you need your ruler, and you need your check. Okay, her full length is 45 inches. So we are going to fold the material now. So you use the wrong side, that's the back of the material. I'm going to cut the front and the back at the same time. So look at the way I folded this material. Because the woman's length is about 45 inches. 45 inches. And you know that normal Ankara length is 45 inches. So instead of folding it down normal way, I had to fold it downwards. Look at what I did, so that I can achieve the length that I want. I just, first of all, I folded it by 2. With the longest length, I folded it by 2 to get the length that I want, which is about 47 to 48 is the length that I want. That's 47, 48, so that I will have an allowance. If not, I would have used the normal Ankara length to continue my sewing. But because her length is 45 and I needed an allowance, so I'm going to add 2 inches allowance by making it 47. So what I did is that I folded the Ankara downwards with from the longest length. I folded it downward so that I can get the normal measurement that I want. So I folded it this way. Okay. I folded it downwards like this. Then I folded it again so that I can cut the front and back at the same time. So this is what I did. Are you seeing it? This is what I did. Okay, then so the length now that I have here is about 49 inches. Okay, in case you do not understand the way I folded the material, let me use this book as an illustration. Let's assume that this is the full length of Ankara, 45 inches, and because the person you are making the cloth for, her full length is about 48, which it has exceeded the normal Ankara measurement. So what you have to do, instead of still continuing to cut it that way, what you have to do is for you to use the longest part like this, the longest part that will give you the exact measurement, the longest part that will give you the exact measurement. Then you fold it this way. Are you getting it? You fold it this way and it will be long. Then you have to fold it downwards. The person I'm making this cloth for, her shoulder is 14. Her shoulder is 14. You first of all, you measure the person's shoulder. 14 divided by 2 will give you 7 plus half-inch sewing allowance, which will give you 7.5. 7.5. So whatever you get from the person's shoulder is what you will use as the person's armhole. So you still measure that 7.5 as the person's armhole. 7.5. So let's use our ruler and rub it up. It's clear. So this is, then you measure your bust measurement. You input your bust measurement. The person I'm making the dress for, her bust is 35. Then you hold your tape like this. 45 divide, okay, sorry, is 35. 35 divide by 2. 35 divided by 2 will give you 17.5. So 17.5 divided by 2 will give you, okay, let's assume it's 9 inches. We give you 9. This is 8 inches and half and quarter, but we are going to use 9 inch. Then plus 2 inches allowance. Plus 2 inches allowance. From there, you measure down 5 inches. 5 inches for her waist. You measure down 5 inches for her waist. The circumference of her waist. Circumference of her waist is 32, which is 32 divided by 4. 32 divided by 4 will give us 16, and 16 divided by 2 will give us 8. So we are going to impute 8 here, plus 2 inches allowance. Plus 2 inches allowance. So it goes, you mark it, it goes like this. You mark it. Then for you to get her hips, you measure down 9 inches. 9 inches, that's the standard measurement to get the person's hip. So you measure down 9 inches, and her hip circumference is 38. So we are going to do 38 divided by 4. First, 9.5. Her hips is 9.5 plus 2 inches allowance. That is it. You measure it this way. Then from the full length, you measure 16 inches. 16 inches, that's what will give you the A shape. From the full length, for an adult, you measure 16 inches down at the downside, and then add 2 inches allowance. Then add 2 inches allowance. I don't know if you are seeing it from my camera, and breeze is disturbing. Okay, so you continue to shape it. You continue to shape the dress. So as you can see, this is A shape gown. Okay, we are going to use 4 inches for the neck wideness. For the neck wideness, I'm going to use 4 inches because it's not gonna have zip. So we are going to use 4 inches by 6 inches downwards. This is because why I'm using 6 inches is because the person is a slim person. Assuming the person is a fat person, I would have used like 7 inches. Because the person is not fat, then I'm going to use 6 inches. That's 4 inches wideness by 6 inches. Then you curve it. This is round neck. You curve it. Then the back will be that same 4 inches wideness by 1.5. Then you curve it 1.5. So I'll be slanting the shoulder by ½ inch while I'm sewing it. While sewing it, I'll slant the shoulder by ½ inch. Okay, let's cut our dress. Remember, I added 2 inches sewing allowance. So don't misunderstand it. I added 2 inches. Don't misunderstand it. So let's cut. First of all, you cut the back neckline. Okay, sorry. And then you slant your armhole. You slant your armhole. Okay, at the front armhole, this is 7.5. Then 7.5 by 2. You measure 7.5 by 2, and it will give you 3 1/4. Then from that side, you measure inwards ½ inch. For the front armhole, you measure ½ inch inwards. Okay, so let's continue. First of all, cut for the back first. Okay, don't forget to slant the downside with 2 inches. Slant it by 2 inches. You slant it by 2 inches. You slant it by 2 inches. You are going to separate the back from the front. You are going to separate the back from the front. If you separate the back from the front, then you cut out the front neckline. And the front armhole. And the front armhole. Armhole depth. Okay, and this is our dress. We are going to cut out the lining exactly this way. We are going to cut out the lining exactly this way and cut out our sleeve too.